This is Brianna from Pack Leader Help Rehabilitation and Training. This video is going to be going over how to use a slip lead, how to use the slip lead as a power loop or gentle leader or halty. There's a lot of different names for it. And then I'm also going to show you the correct placement of a slip lead and the correct placement of a prong collar. Learning about tools like this is extremely important because every tool, whether it's a harness, a gentle leader, a prong collar, a choke collar, can be used in a safe and effective way, or it can be used in the wrong way. And so I have Dasher here, and she's not horrible on leash, but she definitely likes to push into pressure, which if your dog likes to pull or is like reactive on leash and just sort of in their own little world, zigzagging, moving wherever they want, you have a dog who does not understand pressure and release on a leash. And so I'll have you come over here and show you where I have this slip lead. A slip lead is a leash like this. You make a big loop and you put it around the dog's neck, and you use this stopper to make it nice and snug. And so we already have it on her, but if I were going to put this on her, I would just loop it over her head and I would pull this stopper down so there's only about one finger that can fit through there. You don't want it too snug, but you also don't want it too loose to where it could slip off the dog's head. And so if you are just getting a slip lead and this is the first time you're ever teaching your dog pressure and release on a leash, or how to be calm, how to walk with a loose leash, there's definitely techniques and tools that you want to use. But again, the most important part of this process is, am I calm and is my dog calm when I'm leashing them or when I'm taking them outside, which I have a whole other video on going through thresholds, so I'm not going to cover that today. The first thing that I'm going to do for a dog when I put the slip lead on them is I'm going to make sure it's right behind their ears. It's at the highest point of their neck, and you can see that this sits above the dog's trachea. It's going to sit very high. You do not want it down there where the collar is. That is not going to give you very much control over the dog's head. And so what we want our dogs to understand when we use leash pressure is, hey, when you feel this pressure, I need you to come back towards me. And so the first thing that I do is I'm going to give her the full leash, and I'm going to start walking one way. She gets ahead of me, I'm going the opposite direction. And I'm going to keep doing this exercise back and forth, and you're going to see that she's going to stop hitting the end of the leash and start turning with me. So the dog learns very quickly, and you're going to have to do probably a good 5 minutes of this, especially if it's your first time. You're just going to keep walking back and forth. You're not like waiting for her and then turning. You are on your own walk. You feel the dog get out ahead of you. See ya, I'm going the opposite direction. You're just going to keep moving back and forth. What this is teaching the dog is, hey, when you stop paying attention to me, you're going to start feeling leash pressure. The leash pressure comes off if you start moving back towards me. This should, in my opinion, be the first introduction you do with your dog teaching pressure and release. You can do this with a halty, a gentle leader, a prong collar, a slip lead. For some dogs, when I first teach this, teaching with a prong collar is the most effective way to do that. It gives very safe pressure to the dog's neck, and it really teaches them how to turn off pressure. Now, doing this exercise, is it going to fix your walk? Is it going to get your dog to stop pulling or anything like that? The answer is no. There's a combination of things that are going to get your dog to be a little bit more relaxed and in tune with you, but just take the first 5 minutes of your walk to move back and forth. Another exercise that I do, Larry Crone does this exercise too, which is you basically are going to make a box. I'll have you move out a little bit. You're going to make a box, and you're going to use your leg to move into the dog. And they're going to start to know she was already sensitive enough to that. But I'm going to move in with my leg because they need to be mindful of where my legs are going, especially for my clients who live in the city and in DC. Let's go. She's very sensitive. So my one leg movement was enough to send her behind me and get her to relax. I know most dogs are not going to be this easy or this sensitive. I understand that. It just means you need to take longer. You need to do the exercise more to get them to a point where they are being mindful of where, when I move my leg, move out of the way. Like, my legs should not be touching the dog. They should just move when I move. You see that? That's exactly, I mean, I don't want so much to where the dog is shut down, but I do want enough to where if I move into your space, you move out of my space. But for most dogs who are pulling on walks, they're not going to do that for you because they don't care about your space. You're not relevant to them at all whatsoever. And so I'm going to show you briefly how to use a prong collar. I would not use a prong collar on a sensitive dog like this, not because it's bad, it's just she doesn't require that form of pressure.